So I said, okay, you know what? We're all consumed with being social. We're probably tweeting, checking in, Pinteresting, pathing, and God knows what else at this very minute. So I said, look, I'm going to talk about the world where being social is not being social. And actually what I'm going to talk about is how memories, much more important than photos, are going to change the way we make lifestyle decisions. It all sounds very cryptic. But really what I'm going to talk about is the power of passive data. So we're going to do a little experiment. Please put your phones on maximum volume. Right, I want you to send a text message. Phone, maximum volume. My experiment won't work otherwise. I want you to send a text message to 3 of your friends that you know will respond. And send a message saying, hello, how are you? Oh, no, actually, you know what? Better still. Wait. Send a message saying, I love you. Come on, chop, we don't have all day. This clock is ticking and I'm already at 16 minutes. Right, make sure the phone is set to full volume. I promise you I'm not nuts. So whilst my experiment is going on, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm not old. You're meant to laugh at that point. I was born in 1983. I was one of the co-founders and the chief wizard, because we don't have a CEO, we're too boring, of a company called Shota that is working in this space. This is the first time we're announcing it to the world. Thank you, Ted. Previously, we founded this little startup called Niveo about 10 years ago, before there was the cloud. And we were the first guys to bring the cloud to India and to other parts of the world. And we're holders of some patents for whatever that's worth. I'm not hearing the volume loud enough, so it needs to be louder. And we were a number of things: the World Economic Forum Technology Pioneer, MIT Technology Review, terrible ringtone. And this picture apparently is meant to prove that I'm not old. I'm not quite sure. So what are we hearing? Well, you obviously haven't put your phones loud enough. Love it. Our lives are full of white noise. This is white noise. And we're getting lots of text messages. And look how distracting it is. It's buzzing, it's making a sound. Someone said, I love you back. They didn't say it, you got offended. You wrote in English and they replied back in Bengali. But let's make it silent now, please. We must follow TED rules. So, our lives are full of Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, Skype, WhatsApp, BBM, iMessage, email, text message, snail mail. And then we have this little thing called human conversation. You remember this thing? It's called a telephone. It's not difficult. Today we don't have dials that turn, but today we still have the telephone. So we have this notion of we like to be social. Social! But are we really social anymore? So how does all of this really help? I want to go on a holiday. I'm looking for a great place to eat. I want to go party and pat my dog, change the light bulb. So what happens today? Where do I go on holiday? Twitter. Where's a great place to eat? Twitter. Where's a place to party? Time Out magazine. Twitter. But is that really helping me? Do I really care where Time Out's sending me? Do I really care who this person is telling me to go for tapas night tonight? It's not really useful information. It's kind of sending me on a wild goat chase. So I have a question. We're making this really interactive because I'm going to make sure you have to do some work as well. 5 to 15% of us tweet about dinner. I kid you not. I have seen tweets from friends of mine saying, I am having a Big Mac at McDonald's. Like that is just, the most important thing the world can find out. But 10 to 25% of us, well, I'm on a jet ski. But actually, if you think about it, 30 to 50% of us take photos at dinner. Right? Over 90% of us take photos at holidays. God, you guys are all voyeurs. But now we have this student community that's here. Did you know that pictures are More than 75% of students, that's the third most curated content. After email and text message, is photos. You're busy clicking, look, I can see you guys right now. So that gave us an idea. Really interesting data there, right? It's just pictures. We take more pictures than we do anything else, and it's so much easier. So in 1983, on April 24th, we used to say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Passive data, my birthday, don't forget. Today, we say pictures now tell 1,000 faces, not 1,000 words. Thank you, Eddie. So what did you notice in that slide? We're talking about passive data. We're talking about data that kind of exists in the abyss. You don't know about it, you don't see it, you do not have to input it. It's technology that is transparent, as somebody said earlier on today. But really, engineers, put your hands up. This is called correlative data indexing. What does that mean? It's about data that exists because of the things we do, not because of the data we create. Big difference. I'm not asking you to tweet, Pinterest, Path, SMS, text, IVR, phone call, email, and what else you do. I'm simply asking you to do whatever you do in the day. And so, did you know, another useless fact for you today, we take 300 pictures a year. In fact, there's 1.4 billion smartphones in the world today, give or take a week. Did you know we take over 1 billion pictures on a smartphone a day? Geez, that's a lot of pictures. So, the not social media is kind of not correlative. It's a little bit all over the map. The being really social, correlation. What do I mean? You have 1,000 friends. And we'll come to the notion of friends soon. But you have 1,000 friends. Each friend takes 300 pictures. That's 300,000 pictures. On average, you take 10 pictures at a location. That's 30,000 location indexed a year. Tells us a lot. See, pictures plus location plus circles is data. Very important data. Tells me who your friends are. Tells me who's in your phone book. Tells me who you are hanging out with. Location. Very simple. Where were you? Doesn't take Einstein to work it out. But the number of pictures you take, how often you take them, how often your friends take them, tells us a lot. Whether you like that place, you don't like that place, do you revisit it, how often do you go there? So, going back to our eureka moment, by looking at the trio, we're able to work out some really interesting things. Number of my friends that have been here. Who likes Chinese food? Perfect. So how do you today find a good Chinese restaurant in your city? You probably Google it. Or you try and ring a friend. Or you use timeout or something. Something that's really not rational to you. What if I could tell you, basis where your friends have taken pictures, where their friends have taken pictures, the top 5 locations for Chinese food in New York? What if I could tell you, actually, I know a guy that goes to a Chinese restaurant every week. So he's been to 52 Chinese restaurants in the year. And he goes to the same one every single time. He's an expert. How do I know he goes there? Because he takes pictures. He didn't have to tweet it. How much they liked it. So if you really like something, you take a lot of pictures. If you don't like it, you may take none. If you go there every single weekday and you take pictures every single weekday, I kind of think you like it a lot. And then the number of people that have been to that place. So imagine you run a coffee shop in Bangalore. And you're selling Hawaiian food, just because you feel like it. And we told you, hey, you know, only 10% of your population come from Hawaii. But actually you have 80% of your population that come from Singapore. Isn't that really useful information for you? It lets you make decisions, yes? Yes? Yes. So, What does this mean to me? Let's go back to my analogy of holiday, food, and party. If anybody knows me, those are the only three things I like to do. Work is very secondary. So, it means intelligent answers. Who's intelligent here? Come on. Come on, hands up, guys. Come on, don't be silly. You're engineers, you've got to be intelligent. So, from this slightly social graph used, overused, very buzzy, very technology word, we're able to give you intelligent answers. We're able to tell you intelligent answers from those that are like you, that like to do things that you like to do. And the most important thing is we're able to tell you these answers from the pictures you take. We're not asking you to tweet, SMS, email, Pinterest, phone call, IVR, SMS, Path, Bing, Google, G+, none of that. Just take pictures. So really, coming back to my analogy of friends, when I was a kid, which wasn't that long ago, I used to call them imaginary friends. I used to talk to them before I used to go to sleep. It was either my teddy bear or this imaginary friend. Today we call them Facebook friends. But the beauty of Facebook friends is they somehow exist somewhere in the real world. And whereas the friends we have today, with the imaginary friends we had, they didn't exist in the real world. So they tell us a lot. Again, I go back to this analogy. You have 1,000 friends, real or imaginary. They're taking pictures, 300,000 pictures, 30,000 locations. Now, they're not going to go to the same place 30,000 times. That's just not possible. So they're going to a number of places. Now you imagine 1 million people, 30,000 locations being indexed for each. You're going to have some overlap. My maths isn't great, so I can't do 30,000 times 1 million in my head. But you guys are very smart. You'll be able to work it out. Now you have 10 million people. It becomes even more interesting. Who agrees?
Yes.
Come on, guys. I'm going to make you do pat the dog and change the light bulb again. Who agrees?
Yes.
Who has imaginary friends? So the real power of what we're doing and the real power of passive data is this idea of being able to work things out without asking the user to do something. Why is this a design for change? Because technology up till this point has always been about you have to do something to get something back. You've got to write something. You've got to increase your clout score. You've got to follow so-and-so. You've got to search for something. And then you get an answer. But we're meant to be Homo sapiens. Intelligent being. Intelligent beings should have things that give them intelligence. Big difference. That's really the end of my talk. But before I go, who likes to sing? Hands up. Come on, you're engineers, you must sing. So we're going to go and look at my last bit of passive data. Oh my God, we went inside the matrix.
Without your face, your warm embrace, it's felt as lonely as a profile on MySpace. Thank God for Skype and our cell phones, so we can talk whether we're together or alone. I just texted to say I love you. I just tagged us both on our Facebooks. I just tweeted hashtag I love you. Retweet, then like and share with all your friends.